Friends, good morning. Welcome to the monthly review of important events that happened last month. That's July. Now the first one was the visit of our Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Modi to Russia. On 8th and 9th July, he was in Russia and he met Mr. Putin, his counterpart, and thereafter he went to Austria on 9th and 10th July. Now, when the entire West, led by US, is standing firm against Putin and has placed or imposed sanctions, it is natural to ask why a Prime Minister visited Russia at this hour, because India enjoys good relations with US also. So there have been, कई सारी रिपोर्ट्स आई, कई सारे लोगों ने अटकलें लगाई, कई लोगों ने लिखा इसके बारे में, और ज़्यादातर सब assumptions ही हैं. The first one is, जो सबसे बड़ा कंसर्न इंडिया का होगा वो ये है कि आफ्टर रशिया अटैक्ड यूक्रेन and the Western nations impose sanctions on Russia, there is a gradual drift that is taking place towards China. Russia is increasingly drifting towards China. And as a result, Mr. Putin met Mr. Xi, his counterpart, the Chinese president, in May this year. Thereafter, he met him again just prior to the SCO meet, Shanghai Cooperation Organization meet in Kazakhstan, which Mr. Modi did not attend. So he met him twice. Okay. So this closeness is a cause of concern. Now, the second can be, maybe the two countries are finding a common cause against the West led by United States. In the emerging geopolitical situation, the world order that is emerging now, following the Russia-Ukraine war. The third is very interesting. Mr. Zakharov, an expert on India-Russia relations, and he is Moscow-based, he told Wall Street Journal that India wants, he said this, and I am just quoting, India wants to ensure Russia has alternatives, that it is not cornered and does not have to put all its eggs into the Chinese basket. Fourth, the erstwhile Foreign Secretary of India, Mr. Kamal Sibal, said that Prime Minister Modi's visit aims to end any misgivings that India's ties with Russia are being diluted under Western pressure. Now, both the countries, we all know, have been close allies over a long time period, since the days of Cold War. And Russia has been India's top arms supplier for many years. And India also, stepped up the purchase of discounted Russian oil following the Western sanctions, and despite all the objections from US and some European countries. So, these are the concerns, these were the issues, aspects, which probably compelled Mr. Modi, and that's his first visit after taking over as the third term, as the Prime Minister for the third time. Another thing which is, which needs to be looked into is strong ties with Russia are imperative for India, especially due to its deteriorating relations with China following the threat in Ladakh and the clash that took place in Galwan in 2020. Mr. Unni Krishnan, the head of the Eurasia program at the ORF, Observer Research Foundation, it's a think tank organization based in New Delhi, he told Wall Street Journal again that if Russia becomes a junior ally of China, it will be impossible to contain Beijing in this region. Okay, so these were the concerns. And in view of all these, India will have to tread a very fine line as it tries to balance the relations, its ties with the US. And no wonder, right, US has not viewed this happily. It has surely antagonized the US. US ambassador to India, in a press conference, he said that India should not take the US friendship for granted. The second came from the US National Security Advisor. He cautioned India that a bet on Russia as a long-term reliable partner is not a good bet, and Moscow would side with Beijing over New Delhi in case of a conflict. So, this is about India's Honorable Prime Minister's visit to Russia. The second is the sudden surge in terror attacks in south of Pir Panjal region. That's Doda, Jammu, Poonch, Rajouri, Reasi, Kathua, this sector. The ground observation suggests there is a strategic shift by Pakistan's ISI. Shifting its focus from Kashmir to south of Pir Panjal, where it has never been successful, right? Now, the terror attacks that have taken place in this region in past 32 months, there are almost 70 people have been killed, out of which करीब 52 जो हैं वो सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस के हैं, बाकी सिविलियंस के। एज लेट एज 27 जुलाई को भी पाकिस्तान के एक बॉर्डर एक्शन टीम मतलब जिसमें जिहादी भी होंगे या कुछ पाकिस्तान के स्पेशल फोर्सेस के एलिमेंट्स भी हो सकते हैं, दे अटैक्ड एन इंडियन पोस्ट, ऑल्दो द अटैक वाज रिपल्स, लेकिन ये सारी चीज़ें इंडिकेट करती हैं देयर इज सडन सर्ज। नाउ लेट्स एग्जांपल व्हाई दिस सडन surge in terrorism. Now, one reason can be ये पूरा जो एरिया है साउथ ऑफ पीर पंजाल, जम्मू, पुंछ, राजौरी, डोडा, ये this has a diverse population, okay, and the terrorists or the Pakistan intelligence agencies might be trying to exploit this communal discord or create communal discord and exploit the communal tension. The reports suggest that there are already 50 terrorists जो हैं वो अंदर enter हो चुके। The second is बहुत सारे veterans ने कहा, including जनरल जायसवाल, जनरल अटहास ने, उनका आर्टिकल भी निकला था। They have pointed out that the troop densities in south of Pir Panjal range has decreased due to the redeployment of this force in Ladakh area amid the ongoing standoff with China along the LAC. तो जाहिर सी बात है which the Pak supported terror groups will now exploit this. Then we need to understand there have been few changes that have taken place since the Indian government started thumping its chest after the 2 strikes that we did, one through land and one through air. और वो चेंजेस हैं, पहला तो ये है बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट कि यूएसए इज नाउ नो मोर एंगेज्ड एंड इज ब्लीडिंग इन अफगानिस्तान, इट इज आउट ऑफ इट, सो इट डज नॉट हैव टू आर्म ट्विस्ट पाकिस्तान और प्रेशर पाकिस्तान एनी मोर एंड इज आउट ऑफ दिस द इंडिया पाकिस्तान feud. So like the Indian external minister often talks about the India's strategic freedom and freedom of choice to build relations, so does the US also has. And as a result, it helped Pakistan to get out of the Financial Action Task Force FATF grey list. It has also helped Pakistan to secure loans from IMF to stabilize its economy. And so it appears that it does not want to leave that leverage that it enjoys over Pakistan, and does not want to compel Pakistan to fall into the lap of China. When both of them, Pakistan and China, have claimed they are all-weather friends. That's maybe in India's favor also. Then Russia's attack on Ukraine has further complicated the situation for India, as our old ally Russia is now started getting closer to China, which is a threat to us, which is creating problems on our borders. Now, as a result, our relations with China also have nosedived post-Galwan, and threat to Ladakh, we have seen what is happening there. So as a result, the entire 3,500 kilometers of LAC is like becoming like line of control. Line of control में क्या होता है? Every inch is guarded. So you got huge forces deployed there, guarding every inch. It becomes a political issue. The same thing is with the LAC. It's happening, and China has successfully done that when we have to redeploy forces there. So LAC is increasingly becoming like line of control, and guarding 3,500 kilometers is not easy. So Chinese have succeeded in frittering away our resources on ground, all over. Now, the more this threat grows on LAC, the more difficult it will become for us to focus on LC and the areas in depth in Kashmir. Lastly, and very important, given the fact that Article 370 was abrogated, and when it was abrogated, the center in its enthusiasm thought that it can bulldoze its will and sideline the old Kashmiri leaders, political leaders, and be able to bring in the young ones in the mainstream of Indian politics. Now, in this attempt, it has perhaps antagonized even those who have been standing firm with India against all odds. And one should not take lightly, I often repeat this, the statement of Umar Abdullah. He had said, had we known in 1947 that Indian Muslims will be treated in this manner, we would have taken a different decision. Although he lost election, but let's not forget, he lost to someone whose love for India is nothing to talk about. Hence, taking a call to hold elections is going to be tough for the government. Now, all the above, these aspects and concerns, including the deteriorating communal situation in the country, we as a nation might be heading towards tumultuous times as far as security is concerned. Third, on 2nd of July, a tragedy struck at Hathras when a Baba's congregation led to a stampede in which almost 121 people lost their lives, mainly women and children. The tragedy at Hathras was unfortunately inevitable. Why I say inevitable? ये उत्तराखंड में भी हो सकती थी 4 धाम यात्रा के समय, अगर किसी ने वो photographs देखे हो तो, जब with thousands crowded the place lacking the necessary infrastructure. It could have also happened in Sehor near Bhopal last year when lakhs gathered at an ashram near Bhopal. 12 घंटे तक तकरीबन traffic jam रहा था suddenly. Now many are blaming the administration for being negligent and not making adequate arrangements for the devotees who came at the call of their Baba. हमने या हमारे government ने, हमारे system ने, have they left the government officials capable enough to check these Babas? No, I don't think so. Nobody will dare touch them, and we are seeing what the Kamadiyas are doing. Nobody is questioning the Baba also, who claims to have magical powers. This tragedy involving the followers of Bhole Baba underscores my point. Religion or religious faith lacks rational logic and is completely at times blind. Nehruji's effort to instill a scientific temper in the society as outlined in Article 51A is now vilified, largely vilified. Religion is now the cornerstone of all our political and social life, and there is no escaping it. Now when the educated class itself fails to question and is itself influenced and intoxicated by what Marx described as the opium of masses, how can it lead by example and encourage rural folks to develop a scientific temper and question these Babas? The educated class has its own Babas now, who speak English. So the educated class has lost all its moral authority to question others on this path of religious intoxication. And it is pointless to blame the government officials also for being negligent, because the government and the system has not left them capable to question them. The Baba, the Swami, the Kamadiyas, and we all know, read every day. One can also refer to my article that I wrote on February 23. I am giving the link also. And if we do not mend our ways, we are going to be having a tough time on this. Lastly, on 20th July, Israel, following a rocket attack at a football field wherein almost 12 teenagers lost their lives, it bombed places in Lebanon against Hezbollah group operating from Lebanon. In that, The Hamas leader was also killed. Both the groups, Hamas and Hezbollah, are operating hand in glove as far as fighting against Israel is concerned. No doubt, the friends and allies and even those who do not support Israel's tit for tat response are now concerned. What if it escalates to a full-blown war in which advertently or inadvertently the world may get dragged into? The trade has already been severely impacted due to the problems caused by Houthi rebels in the Red Sea. Okay, so that's all for as far as the major events of July are concerned. See you in September. Thank you. Jai Hind.